All right, so this is what you've been looking for. What's the secret? What's the principles that I've been rambling all this other stuff about? Let's just get to it because I know that's why you're here. Principle one, sequencing. You must be able to sequence to have your best, most efficient, most powerful, most consistent swing. Now, please, when you're looking at some of these pro guys that do just some wild things, all right, let's say Guerrero Jr., you most likely do not have his DNA to do the things that he does. There are some things that he does that we can't teach, all right? Bichette, you can't teach some his overly inward, rotated. He's got different DNA. But what he does, they all do, is they sequence. What is sequencing? Sequences is something that I'm going to ask you if you were in here live almost every day. Where's the sequence breaking down? What's a sequence? What's he doing with the sequence? A sequence is this simple. For something to speed up, the part in front of that must come to a stop. It's like this. If I take a towel, I have a 3-foot towel, and I do this, nobody moves because nothing stops, nothing speed up. But if I do this and I start to spin it and I do that and I come back, one part of the segment of the sequence stops for the next segment to speed up and then it snaps. That's what we need to teach you in hitting. The body has a sequence. Here's something that blows everybody's mind. I've heard it, I was taught it. I'm not gonna lie. When I first started, I taught it too until I just learned more. But this is a principle, is sequencing. If I have a bat, okay, it is part of the sequence of my swing. Each part of the sequence has a point that it must stop for the next part to speed up. If I'm speaking of a bat and I look at it, what is the part of the bat that must stop for the barrel to speed up? The knob. Once the knob stops, the barrel can release for speed up. Now, knowing that, why would I push my knob to the ball? When does the barrel speed up? It doesn't speed up till here and there, which is significantly outside the front of the zone. So the only ball that we can hit is ball front of the plate, inside or middle in. We're gonna miss this entire part. Remember, when people say the knob goes to the ball, of course it goes to the ball, doesn't it? It's gonna go to the ball. This is different than this. We call this getting handsy, pushing the knob, because as we sequence, which the first part of the sequence is the block. I must get to a front block. Once my hip gets to that block, it's gonna stop. Now my chest is gonna continue, or my torso is gonna continue. It's gonna get stopped. Then my barrel is gonna release, which we'll go into more. But that's what we're talking about in sequencing. So, first part, don't push the knob to the ball. If anybody tells you to push the knob to the ball, respectfully, politely, explain to them sequencing. Ask them what part of the bat needs to stop in the sequence for the barrel to release. It will be the knob. And then at that point, why do we push the knob? So far, I've never had anyone be able to argue the difference on that. So here's the other part, sequencing. And here's principle, if you want to count that as a principle, you can, but it's sequencing. Principle number one, of every single ball that was hit 115 miles an hour or more, a line drive or a home run, is that when the heel is down, when I take my first step, whether I don't take a step, no matter what, my glute is 100% behind the heel. I don't land here because now I'm stacked. So understand, there's multiple ways of getting there. I don't care if my foot is here, I'm gonna have to be hinged back. If I like to land here, my glute is landing back. To me, this is my favorite position to be into. It's the easiest position to teach. We will get into that earlier, but understand that when that heel, not the toe, when the heel is down, my glute must be 100% behind the heel. Okay, that's part one. Part two, principles. These never change. That once my heel is down, my hands, my knob is going to be at its furthest stretched position, and it is ready to release at that point in time. When I get down and I'm hinged at this point, I'm going to be as tight and stretched as I possibly need, no matter where my hands are at, to take its first movement to the ball and through. My hands are ready to release and start to turn that knob so that we can start to turn and start the sequence through to the ball. That's number two. Number three, this seems the most simple one that all of them. You would think, why are you teaching this? I don't know. But it's one of the three things that we found is that once the heel is down and my knob is here, okay, on all good hitters, their chin never moves, ever. From here, everything moves around the chin, okay? One reason is because everything that we talk through is going to be rotation through the spine. Our spine is going to directly affect our barrel path. If I am out here, my barrel path is going to go down. I'm going to be out of sequence, okay? If I'm back, I'm going to be barrel is up, okay? So remember, once my chin is here, we want my chin and my belly button to be stacked amongst each other. It's a very comfortable and nice, quiet position. If I'm out here, I'm gonna have an issue. If I'm back here, I'm gonna have an issue. So just think and then get set. Those are the three principles, and they seem easy. And as you'll notice, that once you can get those consistently with what we're working through, the swing is gonna be very, very, very comfortable. You're gonna almost say what most people say is, man, you make it too easy. It sounds too easy. Look, this game is hard. The ball is moving, high rates of speed with a ton of movement at the next level. We've got to make this thing as quiet as possible. Again, if you're looking at high level swings and you see some just stuff that doesn't have to do with that, then just break down and say, where was their heel? Where was their hands? Where was their chin? So if you get those three things, you might be able to get away with some other stuff. But if you don't get to those three things, they're gonna cause some issues later on, okay? So those are the three things as we walk through our drills and we start to get through this work, make sure those three things are in every single swing.